All right, so our final video for today contains no new skills. We're just going to take everything we've already learned and do it all together in one example. And maybe something that you could take away from this is maybe a way or a system to write down all of the things that you need in order to graph. So we're going to need a few things. We need x-intercepts, we need our vertex, and our axis of symmetry. And we also need our y-intercept. So quite a few things to keep track of here, but if we can stay organized and get all four of these things fully solved for, we're going to be in good shape. So let's start off here with our y-intercept, or x-intercept, sorry. We take our function, we put in our first and our last, and then we go through and factor. In this case, 5 and 2, because we have a positive in front of the 10, are going to give us 7. So we can pencil these in. So we now have x plus 2 and x plus 5. We're setting it equal to 0 now because we're solving for the intercept, or when y equals 0, we're on the axis. So now in this case, we get our final answer. We get our x-intercept of -2 and -5. Okay, so there's step number 1. Step number 2, let's get our other intercept. We get our c term, in this case c equals 10, so our y-intercept is at 10. Next, our vertex. We calculate -b over 2a. So in this case, we have -7 over 2 times a, which is 1. So our x term for this is -3.5, or -7/2. Now for our y term, we need to go back and plug in. And again, we're replacing each of those x values with what we just solved for x. So if x is 7 over 2, we're getting 7 over 2 in that case. And I missed a negative sign here. Now, it won't make a difference because it's squared, but still really important to make sure we are perfect in all of our steps. Positive 12.25 minus 24.5. I realize I said one thing and wrote something different. So positive 12.25 minus 24.5 plus 10. We'll get our y value here of -2.25. So our full answer for the vertex is -3.5, comma, -2.25. All right, and our last step, axis of symmetry, we already solved for this actually. We know that -b over 2a just equals -3.5. So again, the same x term there. Our difference now is again for the axis of symmetry, it's a straight up and down line, so we just need x. For the vertex, we're going to need to go through and also solve for our y terms to get our ordered pair. All right, so let's put all these together on a graph. Let's start off with those x-intercepts at -2 and negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next up, we can put in, here I should highlight these, that way we can see. So we just put in those. In green, we can put in our vertex. So -3.5, 1, 2, 3, and then down by about 2, right about there. Our axis of symmetry is that x equals -3.5. So right through that vertex point, we're going straight up and straight down. And then the last piece of our puzzle here is our y-intercept. So we'll go up 10, all the way up the top here. And then now we just basically connect the dots. So go from here, down through here, and then back up, and we've made our graph. So again, y-intercept, x-intercept, vertex, axis of symmetry, and then our second x-intercept. So those 4 things are going to be what we need to calculate to solve. So you might have a few table questions, might have a few graph questions to solve here, basically putting everything together that we've learned over the last 2 weeks. As always, thanks for watching. Any questions, reach out.